Welcome to FPTV. Welcome to FPTV in 2021. And we're here with my good friend, Mike Johnson. How are you, brother?
I'm great. It's great to see you again. Happy New Year.
Thank you, man. Happy New Year to you too. And what better way to celebrate the new year, apart from all the good political news we've just been talking about on camera.
Off camera, right?
Yeah, indeed. With the advanced solicitation of the third volume of your Blade Runner 2019 graphic novel series, Home Again, Home Again. What can you tell us about it, Mike?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's wild to think we are now in the future ahead of 2019. When we started this, we were in 2018, maybe even in 2017, we started talking about it, about doing a Blade Runner book set in 2019. Now it's 2021. It's pretty mind-boggling, but no, very excited for people to read this third book that brings the first year and the Blade Runner 2019 title to a close. We've just launched the new series Blade Runner 2029, but today talking about this third volume that brings Ash back from the off-world colonies back to Los Angeles to wrap up.
I mean, you and Andres Gonaldo, the artist, I've just got to be so proud of this. And before we get into it, you can, as usual, pre-order Home Again, the graphic novel published by Titan Comics from the links attached to this video. You can pre-order it right here. So what can you give us a flavor of the storyline in this third volume, Mike?
Yeah, so just a quick recap. Volume 1, the first 4 issues, showed Ash starting as a pretty hardcore Blade Runner, really not liking replicants at all. And she meets a woman named Isabel, who has left her husband and protecting her daughter Cleo. And what we find out is that her husband was going to turn their daughter over to Tyrell for experiments. And Ash discovers that Isabel is actually a replicant. And through those events, Ash begins to realize that replicants are not simply machines bent on hurting human beings, that there's actually some soul to them. And at the end of the first arc, spoiler alert, Isabel is left to die, and Ash pledges to take care of Cleo. So that's the first arc. Second arc is Off-World. We catch up with Ash a few years later, and she and Cleo are working in a mining colony off-world, basically in disguise. And over the course of that second book, we see that the husband, Alexander Selwyn, has sent another replicant on a search for Cleo. He desperately wants his daughter back. And that second book follows those events and that conflict off-world as they are found and their disguise is revealed. And at the end of that, spoiler alert, Cleo goes off to live with Isabel, who has actually survived. They go off to live in a safe off-world colony, and Ash resolves to go back to Earth and take down Selwyn, the husband, once and for all. So that sets up where we are in Home Again, which is a line from the Blade Runner movie, J.F. Sebastian's little toys. And I have to give the great David Manley Leach credit for this. He came up with the title Home Again, which I think is a really nice nod to the movie. Yeah. So Ash has come back to Los Angeles. It's actually 2027 now. So many years have passed. But she's determined to take down Alexander Selwyn. And Selwyn, now the Tyrell Corporation, as we know from the short film Blackout 2022, the Tyrell Corporation has gone bust. Selwyn has sort of collected a few Tyrell engineers and has been making his own replicants. And those are the ones that Ash comes into conflict with when she returns to Los Angeles. So it's about hunting down Selwyn and ultimately having the big showdown. And it also brings Ash full circle because she left being a Blade Runner when she went off-world, and now she comes back and revisits and takes on that mantle again.
Awesome. I haven't read this story arc, mate, so I can't
Oh, right.
wait to see it. Yeah.
No spoilers for the third arc.
Yeah,
But if
right.
you're watching this and you haven't read the first two, stop watching this.
Yeah, stop watching this now. Yeah,
Hit pause, go read the
Yeah.
first two, and then come back and watch this. Yeah.
So you just referenced your great editor on this book, David Manley Leach, our mutual friend. And one of the great things about the privilege of publishing Blade Runner 2019 at Titan is what you and I have talked about before, which is the tremendous expectation every time your script comes in, which everybody loves, and every time the artwork comes in, which everybody loves. It's, you know, when you get the chance to work on a book that is truly satisfying, you're like, man, this is great work. This is one of those, you know, and everybody's so proud of it. You know,
yeah, thank you.
And on every level, I think it's really, really come together. I'll straight up with you, Mike. It's actually made me more of a Blade Runner fan than I was when we began. It's fact.
That's the best compliment we could get. And you know, from Andres on the art to Marco Lesko on the colors, Jim Campbell on the letters, we have just a really great team. And I think a rarity in comics these days where you're able to have the same team together. Like that has been the team on all of our issues. And we're up to, we had 12 issues of 2019. We're working on issue 4 of 2029. So you're looking at 16 issues so far with the same team working together. And it's just been great and really gratifying to see. Thank you for your words and seeing fans appreciate the book on its own, and not, you know, it's not just like a knockoff based on an IP, but they feel like, hopefully they feel like it contributes to the lore. And we've had great partners in Alcon who have really been supportive of building out the universe. Jeff Connor over at Alcon has been a great guide to sort of helping us stay true to the lore and the tone of the franchise, because Blade Runner has a very particular tone. There's a lot of marketing that's been out in the last year for the video game Cyberpunk 2077, which I see a lot of people saying, oh, it's inspired by Blade Runner, but it's a very different flavor of Blade Runner. I actually don't even think of Blade Runner as cyberpunk. There's not, I think cyberpunk, I'm a William Gibson fanboy, right? Going back to Neuromancer.
Yeah, right.
And that was very much about networks and computers, and that's not Blade Runner. Blade Runner is not computers and networked things. Blade Runner is a very particular flavor of future noir. So that's what we sought to capture, and that's what our art team does so well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, actually. It's funny, Leach and I, and you're right about Jeff Connor, by the way. What a great standard bearer for the franchise he is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, now I know I'm to some degree involved in this book, but very much kind of to one side. I don't work directly on it, so I feel I'm free to say this.
Oh, you're in the family.
You're very kind, Mike. Thank you. The two observations I make would be, one is, when you look at a lot of franchise books, comics, they have nowhere near the substantive contribution to the lore, to the universe of that franchise as you guys have with this book. And you hit the nail on the head. You're actually contributing to the mythology in a material and canonical way. And that is a very different thing, I think. And I think also that the power of the storytelling that you guys have fashioned. I remember Leach and I, at the last San Diego we were doing a presentation to the comic book stores of America. And we're in the middle of talking about Blade Runner 2019. I kind of looked behind me while we were talking, and I was like, holy fuck, that artwork looks incredible. You know, right in the middle of the presentation. And it did. I was just completely brought into it. You know, it must be such a joy.
Was it the cover to issue 1? Well,
yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Just such great stuff. I think it must be such a joy for you to look at the book and to open it up and to see it all work.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I get regular, you know, as the pages come in and you know, Andre sends his layouts as well. So I get to see it from the layout stage as an art junkie. You know, it's so cool to see the layouts, and then the pencils, and then the inks, and then the colors, and then Jim does such a good job translating the script into lettering. It's so much fun just to sort of see the production process every month. And then, yeah, to hear the feedback from people. Blade Runner fans really, really care about Blade Runner,
Yeah.
and they're very particular about what feels like Blade Runner and what doesn't.
And I think to not disappoint those very exacting fans, that's just such an achievement, actually, mate.
Well, thanks. And I'm bearing the lead, but I have to thank Michael Green for inviting me on to work on the book. Michael co-wrote Blade Runner 2049, the movie. And to your point about how it feels like this is adding to the lore, that's the reason Michael wanted to do it. Michael didn't want to do it if it was going to feel just like tangential and didn't really matter. But together with Alcon, yeah, there's been an emphasis on making sure, first of all, that it feels actually different from Deckard,
Yeah.
right? But at the same, and Alcon's been great in letting us create Ash and build out her character, but at the same time, referring to things like the blackout in 22 and the off-world colonies so that it feels appropriately Blade Runner.
Yeah, right on. And somebody who you'll know is Lauren Noding, who is our PR manager at Titan Comics. She is a massive, Lauren is a massive Blade Runner fan. And there were a number of questions she wanted me to ask you. We won't be able to get to all of them, but one was specifically about Ash. And that was about, do you still like Ash as a character? Do you find her talking to you when you're writing? What's your relationship with Ash?
That's a great character. I think you need to let your characters talk to you and have a distinct, and I think even though you literally create them, at a certain point, I think if you're doing it right, they start to tell you who they are. They start to, as much as you might want to have them say something or do something or go somewhere, they're going to talk back to you. And Ash has definitely done that. I think she's different in characters I've written before where she's got a harder edge. She's not trying to crack jokes. I think sometimes she'll make kind of she's got a very dry sense of humor, but she's not trying to entertain. Like it's very much about staying true to her interior journey as her feelings about Blade running change over the course of her life, and how she feels about the work that Blade Runners do, how she feels about the situation that replicants are in, and the prejudice that society has towards them. And as writers, as we figure out the plot and what happens to her next, definitely you hear her saying, "That's not what I would do." Like Ash wouldn't do that. So it's been really fun. I feel very protective of her as a character, but also in service to her as a character. Like, yeah, she tells us what to do.
What a great way to put it. And I think that's why as a character, she comes so incandescently alive when you read the book.
Oh, great.
Yeah, great. No, it's undoubtedly true. And on that note, this has been Forbidden Planet TV. I've been talking to my mate, the mighty Mike Johnson, about Blade Runner 2019, Volume 3, Home Again, which you can pre-order from the links attached to this video. And please do, because it is an awesome book. Mike, so great to see you, buddy.
Hey, it's great to see you. And thank you to everybody out there who has purchased and read the book and supported it. It means that we get to do more. We've got big plans. And I hope you enjoy both this volume and the issues to come. So thank you, buddy.
Well said, that man. Take care of yourself, brother. I'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.